Welcome back to the Sean Trey Show. I've got an awesome guest and an old friend here tonight. Now, would you like to tell people who you are and what you do?
I'm Cris Cyborg, MMA fighter. People call me the Grand Slam champion because I have the belts for the four different organizations MMA. And I love fighting, but the one thing I love to do is bring the light for the people around me. This is the first thing is the real belt.
That's awesome. And you know, I've known you, we've known each other now about 12, 13, 14 years. It's a long time.
Yes, going to be around this little bit.
Yeah. Yes. And you've been in the fight game for a long time, but how did you get started? How did you get started in MMA?
Before I love sports, when I started doing handball is like one Europe game. Because sometimes people in America think it's like wall ball. No, it's a one Europe game. You make it's a planned game. A lot of people play. And I started 12, and then I was doing a little bit. I did it for 12 to 18. And then after that, I continued doing that. I started doing track and field, like heptathlon, running. Because I was getting very frustrated in handball. It's a group team. But when you go select somebody for represent Brazil, you see it's very dirty. Like I see, I feel like better. They say, I want to individual sport. And then I continue with handball because it helped me scholarship, helped me a lot when I was teenager, very good. So and I started doing running, track and field.
Nice.
Yes, and then when I was in university, I was studying. I was playing there for the one competition for representing the university. One guy from Shoot Box one gym from Brazil, very famous. He saw me play handball against his son, like we play, like a training. And then he came talk to me after the training. I think you could be a great fighter. And I look at him, I don't like fighting, but I never like fighting. I never fight before in school. I never troublemaker. I was really nerd. And then he said, I think you can be a great fighter. And then I look at him, I like fights. And then all the time he see me in the training, he give him one card from the gym. So you need to come to the gym. I want to try. Then pass a little bit. I try Muay Thai and box a little bit. And he said, this is fun. Maybe I would like to do one fight for see how's work. And in 6 months, I did my first fight. I continued doing another sport. I just tried. And I lost my first fight, but I feel my heart. They're born for this. Like, this is my sport. The other sport is not this. And it's so amazing because after 5 years later, like 5 or 7 years later, I never see the guy again. So this guy show up there. If he don't put the seed in my heart, I was never going to go inside the gym, the fight. Never. And after 7 years, 5 years, I went to one church for doing testimony about my career. And they figured out this guy was from that church. Like, it was crazy. It's like one message from God telling me you're going to be a fighter. And they show up. And it's nice because when I was teenager, my prayers is always like, I love sport. I want to live my life doing sport. Doesn't matter what sport God put me, but I want to do sport. And because I was always doing good in sport. But it's amazing. I feel like it's my call, my call to be a fighter. Because it's not something I choose. Like somebody choose me, told me I think be a great fighter. And then I try and I say, man, I'm born for this. Even I don't know what I have inside my heart. It's unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable.
And that's. Did you ever hear that there was this one story? I love this story about Denzel Washington, and Denzel Washington tells this story that he went to this.
I love Denzel.
He's so amazing, right? Yeah. But he was his mom had like a hair salon. His mom had a hair salon. He was there one day and he just finished college and he didn't know what he was doing with his life. And so he's sitting there and one lady was like, I'm gonna speak for the Lord right now. I'm gonna prophesy. She's like, you will travel the world and you will touch people's lives and people will see you and she just started talking. He's like, what are you talking about, man? I don't know. And he said it planted this seed, and she went and said how he was going to be this person who traveled the world and was seen all over the world, and he was going to be this powerful person who created, that people would look up to. And lo and behold, now we see and know, wow, that's Denzel. And he's
he's having the career the actor, but you see how he touched a lot of lives, especially after he did the movie. have some movie,
Yeah.
Ali movie, the book of the Ali.
Right. So
Yes.
yeah. And so so Denzel is just this amazing, amazing person, and like that seed was planted by this one person and
Yes.
this lady, and like it's amazing that sometimes. For me, I got into film, and I've worked in film for a long time. But do you know how I started?
No.
I started because so my high school, the cool sport was gymnastics. I don't know why, but like we had a really good gymnastics team. They were like tossing people in the air, flips, everyone's standing on shoulders. It was like circus arts. It was like really cool. And Chris, I've never been an athlete. Like I've never been the athletic guy, and so I tried out for the team, didn't make it. And so I was so sad, and the coach was a family friend, and he was like, all right, I got another job for you. Come over here. I want you to be our cameraman. And for the whole year, I went everywhere and I did the videos for people, which that was the first time that I worked making videos for people. And the rest of my life, I've been making videos for people, and making videos. But it was that seed that was planted.
Yes.
A long time ago.
But sometimes people put seed all the time. I think you receive some message. But sometimes you didn't feel or didn't pay attention to the message.
Yeah.
Like and then how you deal with this? So you see a lot of people like, say with my daughter. My daughter will start to play football because she want to play football.
Yeah.
And then she show up in the class, but she didn't know football, and everybody very good. And then when the coach told me she's no need to come anymore. Like I feel very sad. How I'm gonna tell her? Like she's love soccer. I try to explain, Gab. Sometimes you're gonna do things. You try soccer, don't works. In the life, you're gonna have a lot of things you're gonna try. It doesn't work. But you're gonna find something it's your thing. But it's sad when you have to be smart when you talk to somebody or kid. When you put seed, when they get frustrated, something is no good. So much good. I feel like this too. You can be good one thing if you dedicate discipline. Like I was very athletic to be like because I love sports, but I'm no good fighter. Like I'm no good.
Yeah.
I just have a heart. And I was training every day, all day, every day, like discipline. Everything I think happened in my career is just because I was humbly for learning and training. Of course, my faith, but I believe because I was never thinking I'm the best. Nobody can beat me. I think I have to learn. So it's the process. And I feel like when you can be the light for someone. Like the guy said me play handball. He was the light for me say, I think you can be a great fighter. And Sam, the guy, your teacher told you, you're gonna be the camera for 1 year. So this is the light for you. Like this is our mission, be the light for the people around us. And the guy then, somebody lost, like even if sometimes you don't know what to say, like pray, think about, like make the people happy. I think this is the first thing I try to do around when I'm at.
Well, and that's so spot on, because one of the things that when I told my wife that we were friends, and then I showed her your videos, like when she first saw it, like she's like, oh my God, Cris is an amazing fighter. She's fierce. And then I was like, and I told my wife, I was like, but you're actually one of the nicest, kindest people I know. You're all heart, Cris. Like you really are. And one of the things that's always impressed me about you is how you have this profession that you enjoy, but you always, since the moment I met you, have talked about how it's not the thing that you want. You want to use this so that you can help people. And you have a lot of work that you do, that you do outreach, and I know that you have these women's martial arts classes. I know that you go to Africa and you have work there that you've done. Talk to me about how you try to use your visibility, your career to help create change in other areas, because that's something that I know is really important to you.
For me, I think some people met me in beginner, and when I'm in school, they meet me now. They say, Cris, you're still the same. You're the same person. Like everything happened in my career, in my life, don't change who I am.
That's
So
awesome.
and people look at me and say, Chris, you the same, like my friends from school. And for me, like, okay, the belt is important. People ask me, Chris, what's the most important belt for you? Like, all of them is important for me, Elite. It's important because every belt I have on challenge in my career. Every fight
Yeah.
is on challenge. Not just in the fight game, but in the life. Like,
Yeah.
because the people see you think you don't have any struggle in the life, you have, and you still have a fight, have to train it, have to do it for all. So it's a lot of things there. But the one thing I always have in my mind, like, okay, champions change for all the time. Like, no champion
Yeah.
change. Like, 10 years, 20 years, change the champion.
Yep.
But like, okay, I hold the title, but okay, in a couple of years maybe not. But the most important, you be the champion in the people's hearts. Like, when
Yeah.
you go to the community, when I back to Brazil, when I go to Africa, when I go to different places, and I tell a little bit about my story, like, tell them, like, I was never thinking I was gonna see any different place than Brazil. I was never thinking I'm gonna meet so many people. I was never gonna think I'm gonna inspire a lot of people around me. So when I go sharing my life, explain all the testimony, what I passed through, you bring the light for them. I say, man, she can do, I can do too. So, and then when these kids, I went to Zambia. It's a one project kids, and I teach a little bit about them, about the fighting, about how it works. So I plant the seed in their hearts. So when they start training, doing something, the opportunity coming after 10 years, they're gonna remember. Like I said, I start training because came on lady here. Maybe don't remember my name. Come on lady here, and she talk about the fighting and then who I am now. So what I did, I was the champion in people her heart because she gonna remember.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's belt. I was was only one thing for helping me, put me in one place. Like, for me, can reach a lot of people around me. So this is I like to do. Like, you go different place and talk about love, because I know it's you see fighting. Okay, because sometimes I just listen gospel music. I feel like
Mhm.
you have to pay attention about the music you listen, because the music you listen all the time, and you put in your heart. This is I feel.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. So when you can see, you listen to music happy, you be happy. When you listen to music
Yeah.
sad, you say start to remember things no good. So what do you want to put in your heart? You want to be
Yeah.
happy. You want to be share the love. What do you want? So, and then all the time I go to my fights, I pray and then meditations for about what music I'm gonna walk in song. Like, it's not just for me, just for touch people hearts. To look at me there and say, this is Cris Cyborg, yeah, but she has something different. I wanna what she has. So touch their hearts. This is the first thing, the prayer I have to the fight. It's not just about the victory. It's not just about, of course, do good fights. It's a consequence of getting the victory, but it's people, touching people's hearts.
Yeah.
So I have a story, very quick to tell you. I
No, I'd
went to
love to
the
hear.
first fight in Curitiba. Yeah, it
Mhm.
was my first fight in UFC. So I back to my seat after 10 years, and they do my first fight in UFC. So I was praying because I know I was the cut weight, and then accepted the fight. Cool. And then cut weight was like low weight. I was fighting normal my weight for the fight. But okay, I accepted the fight, and I choose the music. I train in the camp with the whole music. I feel my heart to that music. Have to be that music. So I go with the music, and after the event, I went, got the victory, and I was asking God, talk to me inside my heart, say, maybe, do you think maybe that music can walk and touch any heart? I was asking, nobody knew about this, only me. And I was, a couple of days after, I went to one restaurant, dinner with a couple of friends, and my fiancé together. And I was there, sit down, and then when I come out to the restaurant, come a lot of kids, teenagers around me, and they say, they're gonna ask a picture now. I feel my heart like gonna ask a picture. And they didn't ask a picture. They start singing the music, like around
Mm.
me. Like I was so I said, man, everything you do, have somebody watching you.
Yeah.
What message you wanna give somebody? Bring the light for them, or bring it in dark for them. Like, everywhere you go, I think it's and this is my lifestyle where I'm at.
Yeah.
Of course, I do sometimes mistake. Yeah, everybody does. We're not perfect. So, but we try getting better every time. It's this is I feel like Be the champion in people's hearts.
I love that, man. Because one of the things that you touched on that you said that I really love. I'm a big fan of this one writer. His name is Ryan Holiday, and he has this book called "The Obstacle Is the Way," and it talks about how people throughout history, like when you have challenges, because you said like you weren't just good at martial arts; it's something you had to work at.
Yeah.
I played volleyball in university, and I played at a high level team, but I didn't get there because I was good at it. I got there because every single day I was in the gym.
Yeah.
And then, after I finished playing volleyball, I got into judo. And I did Japanese style jiu-jitsu and judo. And so I trained judo, 5-6 days a week. And I was never great at it, but I got better because of just working at it, And it's so many times the good things in our lives, there's often an obstacle or a challenge that stops us. And then we have to go, all right, well, how am I going to make change in my life to get around this? And if you don't, you can never fully be who you are. You can never get to your highest level. And so for me, I love obstacles. I mean, within reason,
Yes.
because they force me to really dig deep and to kind of get better,
Make you stronger too. Make you strong.
Yes.
Like it make you strong and make it. Sometimes okay. We're gonna let's think about this. You're gonna have a big battle, okay? And then you get ready for the little battle. When comes the big battle, you're ready. You're ready. You're so strong. You train so much. You're ready.
Yeah.
So I feel the same thing. Like when when you work hard, when you take a long time, a little bit, like when you got it, it's something you work hard. It's so much fun. It's so much joy in your heart. Like how much you work hard for this. So it's not gonna. I always tell my daughter. One thing I talk to Gabi. Another thing I teach her because when she's my niece, but she live with me. So before she came live with me, she never run before. Never run. She no running, not. And I start teaching her running. And because running is fun, it's free.
Yeah.
You put the music, free, you don't pay nobody. It's gonna be good for your healthy and listen music, you run. If you're sad, you go run, clean your mind. If you're happy, you run, sing, jump, whatever, do whatever you want to do. So and I will say, I'm gonna teach her run. And I started running for her, then she's complaining the whole time. I don't like run. It's so difficult, Chris. I say, Gabi, run is like life. It's you get out your house, go to another place, example. And then, for me, running from there is going to be hard. Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to walk. Sometimes I'm going to yell at somebody, it's their fault, it's not my fault. Somebody, but the most important, you go to the end. Like the time you get hard, you don't quit. You keep going. You can run a little bit less, slow. Okay, I tell Gabi, if you want to walk a little bit and run, walk a little, okay. But just what's the final destination? We're gonna done this. Is it like life? Like life is gonna be hard moments, but you have to continue, keep going. What gonna do? You're gonna stay stop, letting the people feel sorry for you. No, you have to be. I know it's hard sometimes because this is important to people around you too. If some people you sad, some people just say, yeah, stay there. Because some people choose not going to bring you the light. So some people you have to clean up around you, okay? And you get people going to bring the light for you. And when you feel down, somebody go pick you up and put up. Or, back and forth. They have to be like this. It's not every day you feel great. No. But you have somebody, one partner, good for put you up. Well, yeah, sure.
It's so true. And like, when I used to run in college. And we lived. I was up in the mountains at this university. Nice. My university was beautiful. It was just beautiful out in the mountains, and we had great cross country. And I remember I would be 2 miles in on a 5-mile run, and you're not halfway, so you don't have that already over the hump. You're still kind of climbing the hill, and there are those moments where you want to quit.
Yeah.
And you feel it. You're like, I should just turn around, get back in my bed where it's warm, and go back to sleep, because it's early. You wake up early to go for a nice run. And those are the moments where you just have to, dig deep. Yeah. You step back and go, no, not today. Today, I'm pushing through. And then when you get just beyond that, because those are the moments that are the hardest. Once you get beyond that, suddenly it gets easy.
Yes.
And it gets fun. And then you hit another wall and you want to quit again. And you push through.
Yeah, this is I teach my daughter because you have to help teach them challenge and keep going. Like you're gonna get hard and don't quit. Like you have to, but this is you have to nice people around you. I have a lot of moments in my career like sad, I cry, but I have good people around me. A lot of times I go training, I was crying, sad for something, don't want to go, but my friend, no, Cris, you need to go. Let's go. You need to be ready. Like I have a lot of moments. Okay, people see a lot of things great, but I have the other side too. So when people ask me about what's the belt most important for you, like, it's so many cheers, so many challenge, so much wall we have to break. Like it's a lot. So, and I like to share the experience. I have. I think when you share it, like people look at me sometimes because when I start fighting MMA, America, like people. When I met you first time, Sean, I think I speak very little in English. But I think like we communication so well, and they stay for a long time. Keep touch even in distance. We keep touch.
Across the world.
It was great. So this is I believe like when people when I start fighting, people don't know who I am in real, my heart, because I didn't speak English, so I just go over there fighting. And in my fight is very violent. I go for it and like very hard, And people look at me, and then when people start to listen to me, they look at me like, "You really nice person. You very nice." Right. I say, "How you guys think I am?" Like, they cannot figure out like how's that. He said, "No, so you're very nice." Like, and then like man, the people now. I'm so glad people know who I am. Like even I go over there, I fight, so I don't hate my opponent. I just go over there. It's a sport. I know it's a little bit, people think it's a violent sport, but it's both ready to fight. So, and both looking for one opportunity, both bring, and so I feel so amazing. Like now I can talk a little bit about love each other. Even after the fight, we fight each other. I go over there, kiss my opponents, say good words for them, and it's the best. Like when you can make the difference. That moment, when you lose one fight, it's one challenge. Like when you lose something in your life, it's one challenge. And then the moment you lost anything, like the hard time, it's harder to see why. You know what I mean? But I always have a why, but for your good, for you getting better or something. But the moment is hard. But take a little while.
That's something I was telling my daughter. Like, I remember when I played volleyball, I was not a gifted athlete, and I worked hard. But we had a couple of guys on our team that were just naturally gifted athletes, and they were everything was easy to them, and they never lost. And I lost many times coming up, and every single time that I lost, I dug deep and I kept going, and even when I message people to come on my podcast, most people, 90% are awesome. I'd love it. But there is like 10% of people are just not even not nice, but are like really disrespectful. I had one kid last week, and I'm not talking bad. It's a young actor who now has had a degree of success, and he sent me back pretty much the most arrogant message I've ever had. It was really, 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 really arrogant. And I felt sad for him because, my wife is a really famous singer, and she's gone through ups and downs in her career where when she's up, everyone loves you. When she's down, people start treating you like shit. And this kid is at the top of the world right now, and everyone loves him, and he's going to be, And I respectfully said, and I just, after this, I was like, thank you so much for messaging me back. I wish you well. And I had to be cordial and respectful because I felt bad. I felt bad because people don't realize, no matter where you're at, eventually things you'll run into challenges. And when you do, that's when you're going to find out what type of person you are.
Yes.
Not when it's good. When it's good, you don't know who you are. You find out who you are when it gets bad.
Good tough.
Because when it's tough, then you find out what are you really made of. Because I've hit rock bottom. After we met in LA, I moved up to Northern California and I got really sick. I had some heart issues. I had an infection that went into my heart. And I went from super athletic to walking upstairs was almost impossible. Like, I walked up 3 stairs and I had to have someone help me out because I just, I had this infection that just really fucked me up. And it was really challenging because after that I started getting better, but it was slow. And I still have problems from that. I'm okay with that. But one of the things that it taught me is that I'm a lot tougher than I think.
Yeah.
But not physically tougher, mentally tougher. Because when it was really bad, when it was so bad and I felt like quitting, I would still get up. I would get my butt out of bed and I'd drive up because my dog was staying at my friend's house. And I would drive up to see my dog. Even when I had a hard time getting out of bed, even when I had a hard time walking up 2 stairs, I would get into my car, I'd pull myself into the car, drive up the road, see my dog, and then come back home and go to bed. Because to me, it was that simple thing that kept me going. And I think so many people in life, their life is like, a 5-round fight. They're midway in, they're getting beat up, and life is beating them up. And they have to find a way to dig deep to come back. And this is one of the things that I love because, Cris, you were one of the pioneers. Women's MMA. I remember the things people were saying when women's MMA came out. How people who now are like, yay, women's MMA, were really saying horrible things about all of the female fighters. And, you and a handful of other martial artists came out and said, we have a right to be here. And you guys stepped up. Now, talk to me about what it was like to be a pioneer for women's martial arts.
The first thing always want to make me really happy when I see the younger kids. I went to Canada and the City Girls. It's one MMA show, only women. I did the one in Brazil too, only girls. And very nice when they came talk to me, say, Cris, I start fighting after watching you. So because of my goal, and when I start training, I was not just think about me. Like it's like open the door for another girls gonna come. So I passed through a lot of things in my career. A lot of girls not gonna pass through because I already did, or another fighters before me did. So then for me, it's like when I see the young girls like want to fight, like I say, I don't do it just for selfish. No, I want to hold the belt. I want to get better for the sport. I'm fighting for having more divisions. Like the men's have a lot of divisions.
Yeah, right.
Girls is more harder to cut weight than guys. So why don't give more division for us? Girls can fight like a man. We can fight a technical. It's a challenge. Yeah, we're gonna learn it. I think they do. The girls do very well in MMA. Like love family getting together for watching our women's MMA. Before it's just a one man sport, but this has been changing. And for me, when I see this is changing, I feel happy in my heart because it's the first thing I was not just doing the sport for myself. I was doing the sport for the young girls who want to be a fighter in the future. And we still have a lot of things to change in the sport. Still have a lot of things. So, but have to have fighters, not just female, but male, want to change. Like, like how the payment, how, different things, like legal things for the fighters for the future.
Yeah.
So, but have to have the challenge. But some people just happy we put the money in the pocket and that's it. you know. But the problem, like, what do you want to be? This is the legacy I want to leave. What legacy? I have to ask you, what legacy you want to leave? Just to get the money, hold the belt, put the back part? No, what the legacy you want to make difference where I'm at, or make different in the sport? So in my legacy, I always make the difference where I'm at. Even small things, you know. Sometimes you say, I don't have money, I'm not famous. No, it's okay. Sometimes in the supermarket, somebody can hold something, you help. Somebody cross the street, somebody put it, you know, it's the little things. Say good morning for somebody, like say, how are you? How you be? It's good. I don't know, like little different things. So, and then this is I try to do, and then make the different sport, you know, step up for the women's MMA, like say, women can fight like a man. Yes, this has been proved. And I have a lot of negative things people talk about me, because I was, when I started MMA, like I was not the curly girl, like a little girl. I was not, like, and then people judging me a lot. She look like just like a man. She's a, you know, it's very hard to face. Like when you watch a man's fight, nobody say anything. He's pretty. No, his fight good.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
They talk about the fighting skill. They're like, oh, what an amazing fighter. They don't sit there and go, what is up with that haircut? You know, or it's like that's not how men get judged. But for a woman, they're like, let's talk about her looks. It's like,
yes, crazy.
There was a thing that I was reading recently that it was interesting, because there was a singer, or no, a guitarist, that people were trying to talk about something. And then people were like, no, just focus on, this is the greatest guitarist of all time. That's all you have to talk about.
Yes.
You know, it literally, like, Cris, you're like, you know, the baddest woman on the planet. You know, that's pretty crazy, you know? Yes. Like, they should focus on that.
Yes.
That's all they need to talk about.
This is the one thing I does too. Okay, when the people started now in my career, no, but the big, like a couple years, they say, just to look like a man. But I was sweet for the good thing. Okay, cool. They think I'm like a man. Maybe because I fight like a man. I like to do right. Technical. So sometimes people say stuff for you. Don't get it the thing. Say, man, this is who I am. No, I'm not this person. And these people don't know me. And sometimes especially social media. You know, social media is very hard.
Yeah, right.
Especially you see it's all fake. Like if people don't wake up, everything is great. It's the life. Everybody live their life. Know how it works. So sometimes also people say something for you, like, don't get it, that thing inside your heart. Broke in the beginning. Or you say, okay, you just fight like a man. I say, man, I fight like a man. Cool. Like, I want to do this. I want people to think girls can fight like a man. So change it for the good thing. And they say something mean for you. I say, man, check it out if you this. I said, I'm not this. So don't pass. So we have to learn doing this, because you see a lot. This is one of the problems with the teenagers now. You know, you see a lot of kids suicide because of social media, because, you know, judge, bullying, and this have the good positive thing about social media, but this have the bad side too. So I listen a lot of stories from my daughter at the house, and I was trying to tell her, I said, man, you need to tell, motivate them, you know, like, because it's sad. It's very sad, and sometimes the parents didn't see, but it's important you teach them. Change, you know, the bad things can be the good things, you know, but you want to accept or not accept, because you need to accept. You have to open the door for that thing come for you, for inside you, you know, for you can think about. If you're not, just close the door and done, leave.
Right. Well, and I think one of the things that I see, and I follow, you know, we both have daughters, you know, and I have, you know, my daughter's now 5, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do know that, you know, Daddy's been her protector. Nice. But you better believe that we're getting, you know, I have been teaching her some martial arts, just basic stuff, but I'm going to get her into great classes as she gets older, because she needs to know how to defend herself, because I won't always be there, you know, and especially with, you know, I got into martial arts because I got picked on so badly. In high school, you know, I got beat up, I got picked on, and it wasn't until I started studying martial arts, and granted, it was, you know, a couple of years before I could do anything to defend myself, but I had that community. I had those people around me that were always ready to stand up and talk to me and share experiences and talk about what I was going through. And I think that community, you know, that's what I love about, like, people go, how did you get a black belt in judo? And I say, by falling down thousands of times.
Yeah.
You know, because when you know, especially with judo, like, it's all throws, bam, and each time that you get one of those heavy throws and you slam down on the mat, that hurts. It fucking hurts, you know.
Yes.
And then you got to go, and I'm going to get back up, you know. And I think that's what, you know, like, in life, we constantly fall down, you know, and we're constantly failing. But the best thing to teach a child is not that falling down is bad, but that getting up is the most important part. Because if you can get up from whatever it is, as long as you can get up, that's what's important.
You know, when I hear you talk now, come to my mind, like, and it's very important when you fall down about your connections. Example, you fall down, something happened, you feel very depressed. What is your connection make you strong? You say, no, I'm going to return. I want back. The connection is a daughter. Like, no, I'm going to come back for her. You have to, okay, for yourself too, but when you have a connection, like, because this is important in friendship, you connect to people.
Yeah.
You know, for you have the connection, okay, have the reason. No, I want back, I want to do, I'm going to get out from this bed now because I have a connection. I have somebody wait for me. When they see me, they're going to smile. So this is I think this is the important too, the connection to people around you. This, like here you say, like, yes, okay, if you're in depression, okay, but some people are so alone, especially social media too, just cell phone, watch just TikTok, pass Instagram, and then they don't have the connection. It's very sad, very sad.
Well, you know, and I think that's the thing, that I think that if more people knew that they were not alone, that we are, you know, and I felt alone before when I was really sick, you know, and dealing with that. I felt so alone, but, you know, every day I got up because I wanted to, like, I knew I needed to take care of my dog. That was like a big motivator for me. I wanted to care for her, you know. And then now every day my mom asked me, like, because she's like, Sean, you're always up so late doing your podcast and working, and then you wake up early, you know. She's like, how do you do it? And I said, because I've got this little girl upstairs that needs me to every day be better, that needs me every day to try harder. And if I don't, I'm not just letting myself down, I'm letting her down. And let's be real, like, as people that are in the public eye, you know, because I kind of got, you know, adopted into being an influencer because my wife is famous. So, like, everything I do here in Vietnam, people see. And, you know, and this is something that I told myself, I have to be better. I have to be better because whatever I do, it affects people. You know, if I say I do something stupid and I run around and I cheat on my wife, not going to, but if I did, how many people would be like, wow, I thought that he was a good guy. I thought that was an inspirational person, and that person let me down. So for me, I try to be better, not just for myself, but for others, because I think that we can show each other that the world can be better, that we can all be better, that we can hold ourselves to a higher standard. Because granted, I do like giving, you know, participation points. That was a good try. But I still think that we all should strive for greatness. Try to be great. And even it might be something like be great for yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about...
Maybe it's about drink water. Like, some people, no, drink water. I never drink water. What do you mean you never drink water?
Right? Exactly. You wake up, you roll out of bed, and you get on a treadmill for 5 minutes. That might be a win for you. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. It's relative.
Yes.
But can you say, today, I'm going to try a little bit more. That's how I got back. That's how I got my health back from that. Because every day, I started out walking, and I would have a little thing, and I walk 100 steps. That was my goal for that day. The next day, I got 130, 140, 150. And every day I went further and further, and I would do 5 minutes of yoga. Then I would do 10 minutes of yoga. Then I started lifting weights again. That's how I came back from my health challenges.
Nice.
A little bit every
bit.
day.
Yes. Yes.
And for me as well, it was my faith. Faith in a higher power, faith in life's purpose, faith in what I believe in God. Because for me, that was a big motivator for me, that my dad is a man of faith. And any time that we stood at a point where it seemed like the world was falling apart, my dad would always sit there and go, I know he would always work his butt off, but he would also say, I believe that it will get better. And for him, it always did. And there was always something that was just like that those seeds that are planted. It was that string that was pulling things together, that way that it was all just tied together in some special way.
And especially when you you say your dad he's faithful. So for sure, when you got sick, it was a challenge for him too.
Yeah,
he's getting strong. His faith too. So
for sure.
you getting faith, your faith gets stronger, like in the challenge. I know we human being, okay. Some people when you pray every day, you talk, so you meditate. No, but when you get difficult times, everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
When the difficult time, everybody try find light anywhere. So we have to try to be the light all the time. It's hard, It is, but it's.
And we have to try to spread that light.
Yeah,
I think one of the most important things is that the world around us can be a really scary place.
Yeah,
and this is something that I lived with a Navy SEAL, and my old roommate was a Navy SEAL, really interesting guy, and now he's got a really successful knife company.
Nice.
One of the things that he would always tell me is he would say, Sean, there are bad people out there. There are bad forces out there, whatever you want to call it, evil or whatever, and we have to stand against that. And I was like, I didn't always understand it. But after I lived around the world and I see I'm not saying that there are forces of greed and deception and people and hate that are present everywhere. And, they're present in every school in the world. They're present in every place that you can go. And if you can't be something different than that, you're not fixing the problem. You're contributing to it. And so that's like you said. Sometimes it's as simple as saying hi. I hope you have a great day.
One thing I really, I'm a believer. So one thing really touch my heart a lot. It's like when Jesus walked where he's going. He's changed the atmosphere. He changed where he at. You know what I mean? Like this is we're supposed to do. Like when he's go a lot of different place. Like different people need him. Like needed the light. So when he show up, like the atmosphere change around the change. So even we're gonna be hate place or scary place, we have to try over there and change the atmosphere around you. So and you can do that. You just have to believe and have faith, So, like we can do this. So and this is the more challenge for me. Like this beautiful thing, I feel like even have everything you change with love. Everything you change.
Yes, and I think that's so important. And I think that we can spend all our time trying to fight this problem or that problem, or we can spread love and share kindness and share goodness. I don't have all the answers in my life. I've finally figured that out. I think that I've got some of my problems I understand, but I don't have everything down. And I know that. And, if you start talking to me about this theory or that theory, or is this good or is that good, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I can, in my interactions with people, be kind, be nice, be honest, be a person who interacts with integrity, who treats people well. And that was where, when that kid came back to me with that message that was so rude, I wanted to be like, you know what, you little beep, beep, beep. But I stopped myself. And I said, you know what? The best lesson that I can share with someone is to be kind.
Yeah.
It's to be kind. Because life is going to humble all of us. Life humbles all of us, and that is the reality. It doesn't matter what career you're in. There's a certain point where my mom is dealing with it right now. She brushed her teeth. Her father was a dentist, and now she's, getting in her 70s, and she's had to have 3 teeth pulled. And she's like, I brushed my teeth every day. She's like, for my whole life. And so she's like really having a hard time with getting older. And I was like, Mom, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, all of us have these challenges. You have been this amazing human being that, your life is beautiful, and you have all this stuff. And it's just like, but life humbles us all. The important thing to remember is to be kind. Because there was that one quote that says, be kind to everyone because you don't know what they're facing right now. You don't know what they're dealing with,
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting a battle that we can't see.
Yeah, it's true. One thing sometimes I was does before, like you say, when you feel okay, the person rude, if you rude back, what make different you the person? You just
exactly
a bit sad. So, and then when somebody rude, something disrespectful, and anyways they're doing this, you be kind, be respect. They make them think. They make them think. Sometimes, like when people say rude things for me, my social media, I just like, do you think this? Cool. The person return, I'm sorry, I was so rude. Sorry, like make a person think. And now if you yellow back or rude back, like no gonna touch the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and now too, you got to remember that there are people profit off of that darkness, that chaos.
Yeah.
And all you can do is go, I'm sorry that's where you're at, brother. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I don't have problem saying I'm sorry. I don't have say forgive me. I don't hold grudge. Like
I make mistakes all the time.
Yes, I do mistake all the time too. I don't have problem saying sorry. Even you said be mom like every day. I do mistakes. Yeah, everybody does. We study for be a parent. Like it's you do some mistakes. Like but you don't do because you really want to do. Like you want to be better. So I know say I'm sorry. I know say forgive me. If you be avoid make one problem, say I'm sorry. It's okay. Like hold the grudge. Not gonna be benefit anything for you. Like you just hurt yourself.
The other day, I don't know what I did. I didn't do something right with my daughter, and I stopped. And the way I had corrected her was not as kind as it could have been. I was really like, you shouldn't have done that. And then afterwards, I sat down, and I looked at her and I said, honey, I'm really sorry. I said, I don't have all the answers all the time, and I said, I don't always do the right thing. But I really love you, and I'm sorry for if I made you sad. And she stopped, and she looked at me, and she says, Daddy, I know you love me. And she says, don't worry. We all make mistakes. And she gave me the big hug, and she's 5. I was like, so much smarter than me at 5. But I said I was sorry to a little 5-year-old because I was wrong.
Yeah. My daughter, I sometimes do this. She tell me, Cris, it's okay. Like, it's okay. She tell me, okay, I'm sorry. Like I always tell, even her, a lot of people around me, it's just important to, say I'm sorry. You say forgive me, and I love you. I think if people you love, you need to tell them you love them. Like no, because if it's sometimes okay, then now here close to you. Maybe tomorrow is not. and you miss the opportunity to say how much you love them, how much they're
Yeah.
important for your life. So people I love, I like to say I love and talk with them, show them how much I appreciate them. I know some people is different. I don't like show my emotion. Okay, but if the person you love, you don't tell the person you love, and then, or today he's here, and then maybe tomorrow is not here. Who's gonna stay in the sad because they say how much you love the person?
Right.
You, like you know. Então it's like it's very important. I think it's the I always teach my daughter. My daughter's like this. She don't like to show some. Say it's important you show love. You say you love. It's like
Yeah.
no embarrassment for anybody. It's don't think I'm gonna say love. They're gonna hurt you back. But if you hurt you back, you keep love. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but it's very important you show the people around you how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, how much they're important for you, and this you do for you, not just for them. It's for you too. So
Exactly. Well, Cris, has been an awesome conversation
yes,
tonight. I want to say thank you so much for
no,
coming on.
welcome, my pleasure.
We got to do this again sometime.
Yes, I love Sean. You know, I love. This is one thing. This is my legacy. I want to do. People ask me
Yeah.
what your legacy is. It is. It's like do my best I can. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So
No.
we just a challenge. We have to, but we have to help people each other. You know, like
Yeah.
for getting better together. And for me, it's a
Exactly.
pleasure to be here. You are example for me. Like you know, it's you bring the light for the world. This is the most important too. So this is the legacy. You know, it's for you can live for the people who listen us, listen you. You know, and I know it's a lot of people look to you, the example for everyone, and you're doing great. And I'm very proud of you.
I don't know if I'm doing great, but I'm trying.
Yes,
Right?
yes, let's try ours. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
going to be hard, yes, but you know we keep going.
Right?
And you have one reason you're here doing the podcast. You know, it's nothing. It's like happened by mistake. No, you have a reason.
Right.
You have a reason. Everything you pass through your life, and when you get sick, everything because it make you strong. People listen you. Maybe you motivate somebody. Now listen to this podcast now. They say, no, I'm going to stand
Exactly.
up. I'm going to do that. So
Exactly.
everything have a reason. It's amazing how everything is connected.
And even maybe it's just one person listens to this
Yes,
conversation,
yes, yes.
and they find their way to get healthy again. They find their way to find hope, and
Yes.
that could be it.
Yes.
Then even if we can help one person, this conversation was worth our time.
Of course,
You know what I mean?
you know, have the story of the Bible. I love that one. When the lambs, the chapter,
Yeah.
all have 100, but the one getting lost. The pastor, the chap, how do you say chapter?
The shepherd, yeah.
Shepherd. He left the 99 for pick the one lost. He
Yeah.
come back happy. You know, and if you touch one person, it's gonna be amazing. Yes.
It's awesome.